It's Labor Day weekend as the pennant races are starting to heat up, and the National League West leading San Francisco Giants are in town. They lead the Dodgers by 4.5 games. The Cubs beat them yesterday. It's game 2 of a holiday weekend series, and we welcome Cub fans from all over the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. Great to have you with us. Hope your weekend's going well. Along with Bob Brenly, I'm Len Casper. Overcast skies. We hope to dodge the rain here this afternoon. The Cubs have won 2 in a row, Bob, and Alfonso Soriano with the game-winning RBI both days.
Boy, he's had a real good season against the National League West, against the American League. We're going to show you his home run numbers. Keep in mind, he didn't hit his first until May 15th. I tell you, Len, you can really learn a lot about a veteran player in a trying season like this, and Alfonso Soriano has been a shining example of these young players, how to go about your business.
Yeah, and remember, it was reported the Giants had some interest in him, but he is still a Chicago Cub. Let's talk about the pitching matchup today. Tim Lincecum and Justin Germano. Germano hasn't faced the Giants in a while.
Well, you saw him as a member of the Padres, of course, when they were both in the National League West. Real good numbers, but as you said, it's been a while. We know Justin Germano needs to be nearly perfect with his command to be effective.
Weird numbers for Tim Lincecum, second worst ERA in the National League. He has been a lot better in the second half, and you see what he's done on the road.
We talk a lot about adjustments with the young Cubs team, but Tim Lincecum, a 2-time Cy Young winner, going through a lot of adjustments in his own right.
All right, the Cubs got swept in a 4-gamer in June in San Francisco, but they won yesterday. They go for 3 in a row on this homestand coming up. The Cubs using the long ball once again yesterday. We'll have the lineups and all the action coming up from Wrigley Field. To you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Chicago Cubs baseball in high definition is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Time to look at today's Mazda Drive to Victory, and what the Cubs need to do today is get to Lincecum early. He's allowed 25 first-inning runs this year. For the Giants, they need to keep it in the ballpark. Alfonso Soriano, Anthony Rizzo went deep yesterday. Conditions very similar today. Drive to Victory brought to you by your local Chicagoland Mazda dealer. See your Chicagoland Mazda dealer for a test drive today at driveamazda.com.
Let's check in on the Giants starting lineup written out by manager Bruce Bochy. They just completed an 18-11 month of August, their best of the year. A couple of former Cubs in the lineup. Angel Pagan will lead it off. Marcos Scuderos at second. Pablo Sandoval, Buster Posey, Hunter Pence, switch hitting Hector Sanchez in the middle. Xavier Nady will make his Giants debut, another former Cub. Brandon Crawford at short, and Tim Lincecum, the pitcher, hits ninth.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively today behind Justin the infield. Wellington Castillo behind the plate today for right-hander Justin Germano. See his numbers on the season. Germano got banged around pretty good in that 4-day batting practice session the Brewers had here at Wrigley earlier this week.
That was when he was a San Diego Padre. We're underway, 1-0 on switch hitting Angel Pagan. Called strike. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Yeah, beware of Isaac. 73 degrees. Wind is blowing in today out of the east at 10 miles an hour. Humidity not nearly what it was yesterday. It was hot and very, very humid. Curveball at 69 miles an hour, 2-2. Up in the air to left. Easy play for Soriano, and that's out number one.
Very important for Germano when he does decide to go inside on these Giants hitters that he really buries it in there. He can afford to make mistakes on the outer part of the plate, but probably won't get away with too many mistakes on the inside part.
Dan Isonia behind the plate. The crew chief is Dale Scott. Toby Basner is at second. David Rackley at third. C.B. Buckner worked the plate yesterday, but off the rest of the weekend. Now the second baseman, Marcos Scudero, acquired in late July from the Rockies, and he looks at strike one. Ground ball left side, picked up by Castro, and the throw is in time to get him.
Dwayne Kuiper told us yesterday that the addition of Marcos Scudero took Ryan Theriot, for all intent and purposes, right out of the Giants lineup. We did see the Riot start at second yesterday, but Scudero, a good defensive player, also has a little pop in that bat. Bruce Bochy trying to find some offense.
Pablo Sandoval 0 for 3 yesterday with a sac fly, scored a run. Had a really nice defensive play in that game as well. And he lines one into center. Castro almost caught it. They were shading him up the middle. And as hard as that ball was hit, it almost seemed to knuckle a little bit as it got behind second base.
Looked like he hit it right off the end of the bat, so it didn't carry as well as we thought it was going to when it came off the bat. Nice effort by Starlin. Just beyond the outstretched glove.
That'll bring up their best hitter, Buster Posey. What a day he had yesterday. 2 singles, a double, a walk, 2 RBIs. He's playing first base today. This will be his 20th start at first. Most of his action has been behind the plate. 93 starts at the catcher position. Leads the majors in the second half, hitting .400 with a .483 on base percentage. Pitcher's strike on the inside corner.
First baseman Buster Posey. I think we ought to all get used to saying that a lot more often. Buster would like to remain behind the plate, but I just think moving forward, we touched on it yesterday, he's such a valuable member of this team offensively. A team that is usually starved for offense. You'd love to protect him physically and make sure he can stay in the lineup on a regular basis.
Well, the Giants lost yesterday, but the Dodgers lost last night, so their lead is still at 4.5. On a hop, and Valbuena can't get it. Sandoval's going to hold at second. Back-to-back 2-out hits.
Oh, we have a moment. Let's take a look at our Xfinity catcher profile, protecting home for the Giants and the Cardinals. We're talking about Buster Posey and Yadier Molina, two catchers among the National League batting leaders. I can't tell you how amazing that is to have two catchers that high on the list at this point in the season, especially two guys that do yeoman's work behind the plate for their teams. Xfinity Home offers state-of-the-art features that help you stay connected to your home and family anytime and anywhere.
So a 2-out first inning rally. It's Hunter Pence. Low for ball one. Hasn't done a ton with the Giants, but over his last 16 games he is hitting .310. Overall with the Giants since the trade from the Phillies, hitting .230 in 29 games. 2-0. And the Dodgers lost in extras last night to the Diamondbacks. Jason Kubel with a leadoff home run in the 11th. And the Dodgers have now lost 8 in a row against Arizona. D-backs trying to hang around in the playoff race, but it's getting late. That's a catcher Sanchez on deck. Arizona 8.5 out in the West and in the wild card. Although I guess technically they're only 5.5 behind the second wild card team, the Cardinals.
Yeah, the way the schedule worked out this year, a lot of games within the division to end the season for that National League West. The Diamondbacks could make up a lot of ground in a short period of time with all those head-to-head games. The same thing could be said for the Dodgers creeping up on the Giants in that last month of the season.
How about the Giants' schedule? After this weekend, everything else is against the West, as you mentioned, and the only current winning team the Giants will play the final month is the Dodgers. They'll play them 6 times. On a long 162 game grind, I think generally the best teams beat the teams they're supposed to beat. The A's have done that over in the American League West and in that wild card race. And if the Giants just take care of business, do what they're supposed to do, they should win their division. Cross up.
Yeah, big time cross up there. Castillo was sliding over toward that left-handed batter's box, expecting some kind of late movement away from Hunter Pence. Has to reach back to his left as he's sliding out to his right.
It's almost a strike.
Yeah. Ball rattled all around that catcher's mitt. An obvious cross up that time. Just kind of odd for it to happen this late in the sequence. Yeah, you can understand when a runner initially gets to second base, maybe the pitcher goofing up on the very first pitch, not remembering what signs you're using, but it doesn't usually happen on the 2-2 pitch of a sequence.
Runners will go on the payoff delivery with 2 outs. Pence banged that one off his front foot.
Might hit his foot, but it'll be tough to hit his calf. Right off the instep of that left shoe. Boy, with Hunter Pence, and Tim Lincecum, and Aubrey Huff, they have some of the more eccentric players in the game in that first base dugout.
Yes, they do. Runners go again. Ball 4. We'd love for you to keep in touch. Len and Bob at Tribune.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. Got to get to know you better. Switch hitting catcher Hector Sanchez with 3 on and 2 outs. One of 3 switch hitters in this Giants starting lineup. Swung on and missed, strike 1. The Giants actually led the National League in runs per game in August, 5.41. And spent half the month without Melky Cabrera. 0-2. Good curveball. Xavier Nady with an interesting uniform number, 68. Fouled back. It is September 1st, so every team allowed to expand its active roster to as many as 40 players. The Giants are at 31. The Cubs are at 28. We'll talk about their call-ups a little bit later. Going to go up with a fastball. 1-2.
As a general rule, when you're facing a guy that doesn't get a lot of regular at bats, you're usually better off going slow against him, because the batting practice he sees every day is fastballs in the cage or out here on the field. Doesn't get a chance to see that big curveball very often.
That's bounced foul.
Especially a slower off-speed curveball like Justin Germano throws.
Germano turned 30 years old on August 6th. Trying to get out of this jam here in the opening inning. 2-2.
There's not enough tailing action on that fastball to bring it back to the inside corner, but I mentioned earlier that's where you want to miss with that fastball if you're trying to come inside. Justin Germano needs to miss in his favor.
Well, his first big league manager was Bruce Bochy. Germano made his debut with the 2004 Padres, and one of his teammates was the guy on deck, Xavier Nady. I'd say Bruce Bochy probably knows the National League West better than anybody currently alive, having managed the Padres and Giants for so long. Full count, not what Germano wanted. Actually, it hit him. It just clipped the jersey of Sanchez to force in a run. All this happening with 2 outs, 2 singles, a walk, and a hit batter.
Yeah, 2 quick outs to start the ball game, but just ever so slightly clipped the jersey of Sanchez to force home the first run of the game.
And here is former Cub Xavier Nady back here at Wrigley Field for the first time since the first series of the season when he was with the Washington Nationals. He was cut by the Nationals in mid-July, signed a minor league contract with the Giants on August 5th, and had his contract purchased today from AAA Fresno. Nady's from Salinas, California, went to Cal Berkeley, grew up a Giants fan, and now making his debut with San Francisco.
.25 games for AAA Fresno. Batted a respectable .270, but clubbed 6 home runs and drove in 18 in those 25 games. And we know all about Xavier Nady. He's going to try to lift and separate.
And he's going to knock in at least 2 here. Posey's in. Pence scores. Sanchez is going to be sent. Castro's relay throw to the plate. Not in time. And Xavier Nady, in his first Giants at bat, clears the bases with a double, and it's 4-0 Giants.
Now we know Xavier Nady wants to pull that ball, wants to get it some elevation, but this time a topspin grounder past Luis Valbuena. And down into that left field corner. I'll tell you, for Hector Sanchez to score from first base, there must have been some kind of delay down in that left field corner. You see Soriano coming into your picture. Yeah, very awkward throw right there. Looked like he tripped with his right foot, couldn't get much on the throw to Starlin Castro, and that gave Sanchez enough time to beat the play at the plate.
Well, that's quite a debut for Nady. And it gets the 8-hitter Brandon Crawford to the plate, and the starting pitcher will be on deck, Tim Lincecum. And oh, by the way, you know, the Cubs call-ups were all position players today. Miguel Sokolovic, a right-handed reliever, will be called up tomorrow because of his roster situation when he was optioned to AAA. He can't officially be put on the roster until tomorrow. That is significant because the Cubs have a tired bullpen right now, and Justin Germano is going to have to eat up some innings. Crawford flies to Soriano to finally end the inning. The Giants get 4 2-out runs, and the Cubs are coming up. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Cubs have tied their season mark for runs in 2 games, 18 total over the last 2 days. De Jesus, Valbuena, Rizzo, lefties at the top. Soriano, Castro, Castillo, righties in the middle. Jackson, Barney, Germano at the bottom.
Quick look at the Giants defensively here this afternoon. It'll be Nady, Pagan, and Pence left to right across the outfield. Sandoval and Crawford on the left side of the infield. Scutaro and Posey on the right side. Hector Sanchez doing the catching today. 2-time Cy Young winner, 5-time All-Star Tim Lincecum. Ugly numbers. I mentioned earlier he's making some adjustments of his own. He always had the most unique mechanics, to say the least, in Major League Baseball, and has been struggling with those mechanics throughout the year. Just trying to find a way to more consistently throw his fastball for strikes.
Receiving 3.87 runs of support per game. That was the 5th lowest in the National League coming into today. Well, his teammates gave him 4 in the top of the first as he faces David De Jesus.
I mentioned in our Mazda drive to victory, Lincecum has allowed 25 first-inning runs this year. You combine that with the 24 runs he's allowed in the 4th inning, and half of his runs have scored in 2 innings, the 1st and the 4th.
Has tied his career high for losses with 14. He lost 14 last year. He has the 2nd highest ERA in the National League. The National League leaders, so to speak, and highest ERA isn't even in the NL anymore, Randy Wolf. He's allowed 89 earned runs, 2nd most, and a career high. 14 wild pitches. Only Ubaldo Jimenez has thrown more among all Major League pitchers. High in the air out into left center. Angel Pagan with a beat on it. Now, having said all that, the second half's gone a lot better than the first half.
And his velocity has spiked a little bit. Earlier this season, his fastball was consistently at 87, 88 miles per hour. But the velocity recently has been creeping back up into the low 90s. And I mentioned just his inability to consistently throw his fastball for strikes. When he's able to do that, he's got 3 really good complementary pitches, a curve, a slider, and a changeup.
Fastball in there for a strike on Luis Valbuena. Yeah, Lincecum had a 6.42 ERA going into the All-Star break. 3.31 since. Well, you'd really like to see the Cubs continue to grind out their at-bats like they have the last 2 days. Lincecum's career ERA was under 3 going into this season.
And went from 298 to the current 327. That's a ridiculous jump in one season.
Foul tip on the check swing. So Lincecum grabs his first strikeout. Time now to look at our AT&T Uvers replay. The umpire's got to look at the AT&T Uvers replay. You see the ball hit the yellow stripe, then the back green wall. Originally it was called in play, but they went to the review and quickly called it a home run. See what's possible with AT&T Uvers high-speed internet. AT&T rethink possible. That was Anthony's first home run since August 5th. One thing you'll notice about Lincecum that's different from many pitchers, and as you said, there's a lot going on with his delivery that we could talk about today, but watch how he starts with his back foot. It almost looks like he's working from the stretch. Driven out into left center. It'll get down. Nady will field. Rizzo's going to have to hold with a single. And it'll set it up for Alfonso Soriano.
Talk about fastball location. Sanchez wanted that fastball up and in. Mid-thighs, outside corner, and Anthony Rizzo does what he does best. Just go with it, drive that ball toward the gap in left center. Nice play by Xavier Nady to hold him to a single.
Swing and a miss on a slider. One strike on Cubs cleanup man. Game-ending RBI Thursday. Game-winning RBI early on yesterday.
Probably does not apply here with 2 outs in the inning and the Cubs' best home run hitter at the plate with a runner on base. But base runners have really been taking advantage of Tim Lincecum this year. 18 stolen base attempts. All 18 have been successful.
Two and one.
Soriano with a home run against Tim Lincecum in his career. 3 for 11 lifetime with that home run. Also a double.
A little high that time. A lot of Giants fans made the trip in. Swing and a miss. Had a good rip at that fastball. Now 3-2. There goes Rizzo on the 3-2. Called strike 3 on the inner third. Shut down first for Lincecum. 4-0 Giants.
And around the country on WGN America know that during every Cubs home game this season, if you go to channel 780 or high def channel 1780, you can see a special multi-view presentation that shows you all of our different live camera angles right here at Wrigley Field. It's pretty cool. So if you want to direct the game along with Skip Ellison, give a look to AT&T UVerse channel 780 or high def channel 1780.
4-0 San Francisco as Tim Lincecum takes ball one. By the way, he did not play Mitch in the 1993 Classic Dazed and Confused when he was 16. Just seems that way.
Yeah.
The actor's name Wiley Wiggins. Lincecum with that patented stringy long hair. He's had it since the day he got to the big leagues.
Nor was he the main character in the movie Hesher.
G. Gordon or Gordon Levitt?
Yeah. Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon. G. Gordon Liddy, I was thinking of. 2-2 from Germano. Lifted to deep left. Soriano back, and he's got it. And Germano retired the first two with relative ease in the opening inning, but then the Giants would get 4 runs with 2 outs. Strike to Pagan. He flied to left to start the ball game. Overcast skies. Looks like it could rain at any moment, but we've been okay so far. Hooked into the right field corner. That ball's going to roll all the way to the knot hole. Pagan coming around second, and he's going to have a triple. So that's his 10th of the year. He's now 2 away from tying the single season San Francisco record.
All 10 of his triples this year have come as a left-handed hitter. Pulls that ball down into the corner near the knot hole. And Angel Pagan has always run extremely well. No exception here, sliding into third with a triple.
That'll force Dale Swain to bring his infield in with 1 out, and Scooter Rowe at the plate. Lifted in the air. This will get it done. Brett Jackson will take it. Pagan will score easily. Sac fly Marco Scutaro. 5-0. The best season ticket option in the city continues to be the PNC Club of Chicago. Tickets in this exclusive club come with added benefits, including VIP parking. Your guests will enjoy an all-inclusive top-shelf bar and gourmet food in a climate-controlled suite with celebrities and former Cubs. For information, contact the Premier Sales Team at 773-404-4200 or Cubs.com/Premier. And a strike on Sandoval. John Lovitz, Saturday Night Live fame, will conduct the 7th inning stretch. That's a ticket.
Acting. See what new baseball terminology he might come up with today.
Flowl.
The fly foul, which became a flowl.
Backdoor curve missed. Couple of other games going on with playoff implications over in the American League. We'll keep you posted. The Orioles, after beating the Yankees last night to get within 2 in the East, lead 2-0 in the second inning today. So Tampa Bay is in Toronto. They're scoreless in the third. Rays are 2.5 behind Baltimore for the final wild card spot. And the Rays have been struggling. They've lost 6 of 7.
Take a look at today's Illinois lottery. Anything is possible. Teams. We're going to look at the American League wild card race. Len touched on it earlier. The Athletics and the Orioles tied atop that wild card race. Rays not far behind. The Tigers lurking. White Sox are well aware of that. Angels still hanging around. The Anything's Possible team is brought to you by the Illinois Lottery, who each day make anything possible.
The A's have won 7 in a row and beat the Red Sox late last night 20-2. So if you're a fair weather Bay Area baseball fan, this is your year. As was 1989.
In a lot of respects, the Bay Area is like Chicago. There's very few fans that are supporters of both teams. You either love the Giants and hate the A's or vice versa. I don't want to hear any of this. I just root for the teams from the area. You pick one.
(3-2). Pounded on the ground. Rizzo will field. Germano to cover, and that'll end the inning. They had a run to their lead early on. All Giants 5-0. Five nothing Giants. Tim Lincecum getting a lot of support early on as he faces Starlin Castro. Ball one. Cubs are 4-4 on this 10-game homestand, which will end tomorrow. Good homestand for Castro. Signed a long-term contract extension earlier this week. And he's also hitting 7 in a row.
Life's good.
I'd say so. 22 years old, everyday shortstop for the Cubs. Locked in for the next 7, maybe 8 years. Life is good.
Yeah, a pocket full of sunflower seeds. What could be better?
high strike. It's 3-1. Lincecum at 5'11", listed at 157. His weight has fluctuated a bit over the last year or so. On to right, and the running grab by Pence. Struck well by Castro, but for an out. Chicagoland viewers, if you want to wear what the Cubs are wearing, then text Waveland to 88019 right now for your chance to win an authentic game-worn jersey from the Cubs. And be sure to go to Cubs.com/authentics for more authentic Cub memorabilia. Ball one inside on Castillo. I love the term you used on his RBI double, in which he scored. It's the Little League home run. You keep running until somebody throws you out. And nobody did.
We've all seen it happen at a Little League game. You just put the ball in play. It rolls through the third baseman's leg. It rolls through the left fielder's legs. He picks it up and throws it over the shortstop's head. The shortstop throws it away from the catcher, and you end up scoring a run. That's a Little League homer. Just keep rolling.
That was a significant play in the ball game because there were 2 outs. If Buster Posey hangs on to the ball and tags out Starlin Castro, the inning ends. Cubs score 3 runs in the first 3 instead of 5. And remember, the Giants came back late to make it close. Cubs would win 6-4. That one served out into right center. Castillo keeps hitting.
We mentioned the double for Castillo in the ball game yesterday. Also in the 8th inning off Jeremy Affeldt, he hit one of the hardest line drive singles back up the middle of the field that we've seen all summer. So Castillo starting to square it up with regularity.
Can't say enough about what Brett Jackson's done here lately. On this homestand, 3 homers, 6 knocked in, 3 doubles. He's walked 9 times. Seems to really be getting comfortable in a big league uniform. Good rip at that pitch.
Looks like Brett Jackson is wearing some kind of a mouthpiece, perhaps. Maybe not. I thought he had a mouthpiece, and a lot of hitters are doing that nowadays. There's been some studies that show that when you clench your jaw, it releases tension in other areas and helps you focus on the baseball a little bit better. I think perhaps that's not a mouthpiece. But when we find a player wearing a mouthpiece, we'll alert you.
Yes, we will. We got a couple of Cal Berkeley guys in the game today. Brett Jackson, Xavier Nady. 1-1 is low. Mention the roster moves. Tony Campana and Adrian Cardenas are back. Dave Sapelt is also here. He was involved in the Travis Wood, Sean Marshall trade. Big league time last year with the Reds. No specific plan for those 3 guys in terms of Dale Swaim getting them a lot of starts. Sapelt may get a few against certain left-handed starters. And you know what Tony is available for when he doesn't start, that pinch running situation late. You can do that a lot easier here in September. Backhanded by Posey. They get 1. They get 2. 3-6-3 on the inning ending double play. Still 5-0 Giants.
WGN TV is brought to you by Bud Light Lime-A-Rita, the ready-to-drink margarita with a refreshing twist of Bud Light Lime.
(5-0). The Giants have the lead as Justin Germano's back out for the third inning. The lights have been on since we started, with a lot of cloud cover. Temperatures have really cooled off, about 20 degrees in 24 hours. And here's Buster Posey, who made a nice play at first to start a 3-6-3 double play. All right, you've done what Buster Posey is doing. You'll catch and then play first or third. Is he going to feel less fatigued after the game today? Is it really noticeable?
Yes,
not catching and playing another position.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's stressful in a different way, because I'm sure Buster Posey's much more comfortable behind the plate as far as the mechanics of the game and your responsibilities at that position. I'm sure he's a lot more comfortable behind the plate than he is at first base, but physically you really notice it in your legs, your lower back. Obviously, you're not in a squat all afternoon getting up and down out of that catcher's crouch. And the benefit for Bruce Bochy, obviously, is you get to keep his bat in the lineup.
Oh, base hit. They haven't retired him yet in the series. He's 5 for 5. Kind of hard to take him out of the lineup, isn't it?
I think he needs a day off myself, you know. Yeah, just quick swing. Gets the barrel of the bat on the ball, whether it's up, down, in, out. Doesn't try to overpower the ball. He does take a very healthy cut, but it's a very short, compact, quick swing.
Hence walked in the first inning. Ball straight back over the plate, but it was low. We were talking yesterday about the paleo diet. Pence is on that particular diet, the caveman diet, dinosaur diet. My dad actually tried it for a while. He said you do lose weight, but it's really boring. I don't think you get much dairy. You cut out your bread and potatoes, and you will lose weight on that diet.
Yeah, because Hunter Pence is just blowing right over his belt buckle, isn't
well,
he?
He's doing it for the energy. And he says he wakes up with more energy. And because of his thin makeup, he can probably eat twice what somebody else could on that particular diet.
Yeah, with a high motor guy like him, he probably burns calories while he sleeps.
No processed food on that diet.
Has he met his third baseman, Pablo Sandoval?
I would assume he has. Nice play by Valbuena. They'll get an out at second. The relay, however, will be late. Make sure you check out our WGN Baseball blog on WGNTV.com. It's brought to you by Jeff Vukovich, nationwide agent serving the area for 33 years. Contact Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. I have a post on the Cubs' recent offensive success. 18 runs over the last 2 games. And leading up to tomorrow's Stat Sunday broadcast, the Pythagorean theorem. Runs scored versus runs allowed, the Bill James concept. We'll have a post on that. And some fun graphics for you tomorrow afternoon here on WGN. We're going to do Stats Sunday. We got to pay homage to the godfather of sabermetrics, Bill James. And I know you're looking at me like, do we have to do calculus? The Pythagorean theorem? It's much simpler than it sounds. Good.
Because I remember hearing Pythagorean back in school, and quite honestly, it brings back some bad memories.
Sure it does.
But as it applies to the game of baseball, I think it's easy for everybody to understand.
Yep. Sanchez was hit by a pitch that forced in the first run. Just grazed on the jersey on a 2-2 pitch. Well, we mentioned the Giants have added 6 guys to their roster, and when you do that at Wrigley Field, you better like your teammates.
When the music stops, grab a seat. Intimate.
Lined and off the glove of Castro. He went up to get it and just couldn't haul it in. That's a base hit.
Boy, sometimes in an effort to extend that left arm just a little bit farther, you don't have real good control of your glove, and the ball that time just barely ticked off the webbing. Nice effort by Starlin Castro. That'll go as a base hit for Hector Sanchez.
You know, just a thought, and I don't think baseball would ever change this rule. In terms of hit by pitches, I hate the hit by pitch where it hits the guy's jersey and nothing else. And I don't know if you could ever put it in the hands of an umpire, but some guys wear really baggy jerseys. I'm not saying Sanchez does.
I think back Manny Ramirez in his days with
Absolutely.
Boston and the Dodgers.
Is that really a hit by pitch if you got the jersey hanging over your belt? I mean, really?
That didn't even put a wrinkle in his jersey right there.
If the ball doesn't change direction and it doesn't actually hit the guy, that forced in a run.
It's more of a wardrobe malfunction than a hit by pitch.
Two and 1 the count. We're watching Nady take batting practice today. The Giants hit on the field. The Cubs did not. It was just the opposite yesterday. But Nady and Tim Flannery, the third base coach, were having a pretty intense conversation in between rounds of BP. I just think Tim was giving him all the signs and talking about defensive schemes and the like. A lot to catch up on when you come up to the big leagues and join a team for the first time, especially for a noon start. Not like they got here at 5:30 this morning. And again, they were together in San Diego a few years ago, so a few familiar faces for Nady.
Yeah, we got a pretty good piece of Wellington Castillo right off that little shoulder extension on the right side. It's been a nice invention for catchers, that little addition to the chest protector to protect your throwing arm. That one would have gone right off the top of his shoulder joint.
Some guys have a compact swing. I would not call Nady's compact in any way. This is more like a big SUV. It's caught by Valbuena. And let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Nothing San Francisco, and 2 more men on here in the 3rd inning. Shortstop Brandon Crawford. Up in the air. Right center, Brett Jackson to end the inning. 2 hits, no runs this time, though. 5-0 Giants.
Log on to WGNTV.com right now and click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape, pools, patio sets, play sets, hot tubs, and more.
All Giants early on. Been a tough year for 2-time Cy Young Award winner Tim Lincecum. And he's pitching on a first-place team. This is his 28th start in his first 27. He's only had 9 quality outings. That ranks 5th on their staff. Two and 0.
You know, we talked about his inability to consistently locate that fastball, which begs me to revisit this day in baseball history that we missed yesterday, Lamb.
Okay.
You want to talk about trouble commanding your fastball. Darwin Barney will take ball 4. On August 31st, 1957, Steve Dalkowski struck out 24 Bluefield hitters in a minor league game and lost the game 8-4. Why, you may ask? 18 walks, 4 hit batters, 6 wild pitches. Now, during the course of that 57 season, he threw 62 innings, struck out 121 batters, but only won 1 game because he walked 129 and unleashed 39 wild pitches.
Trying to figure out how many pitches he threw in that game you were talking about.
Oh, man. Can you imagine? Between the 1957 and 1958 seasons for Steve Dalkowski, 3 out of every 4 batters he faced either struck out or walked.
Sometimes effectively, oftentimes ineffectively wild.
Yeah. Threw a 1-hitter but lost 9-8 because he walked 17 batters in that game.
Germano bunts, and it's foul. So Lincecum started the inning with 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone before the foul bunt.
Not quite Steve Dalkowski territory yet.
Not yet. Did he pitch in the big leagues? I'm thinking no.
He did pitch for Earl Weaver at some level. That might have been in the minor leagues. I have to look through here a little bit.
How do you spell the last name?
Dalkowski, D-A-L-K-O-W-S-K-I. His lifetime 1 loss in the minors was 46-80 in 9 minor league seasons. Says absolutely nothing about the big leagues.
He did not, according to Baseball Reference.
Yeah, Earl Weaver managed him for the Orioles Double-A team in Elmira, New York.
That's a strike, 2-2.
And you have to believe that he was one of those guys that pitching coaches all thought, I can straighten that guy out and we will have something. We will really have something. I mean, he was clocked in the hundreds back before they really had a radar gun. They had to take him to testing grounds and have him throw against different kind of machines to measure velocity of bullets and things.
Good job by Germano to get that bunt down. Cubs have a runner in scoring position for the first time. The next WGN Radio Cubs Corner is sponsored by Wintrust Community Banks. Is Tuesday, September 18th at Wildfire in Chicago. Join Anthony Rizzo, Brett Jackson, and Josh Bitters. That'll be a good one for a live WGN Radio broadcast. And enjoy a great 3-course lunch, all for just $55. Tickets are available now by calling Wildfire at 312-787-9000 or visiting Cubs.com. By the way, Dalkowski was listed at 5'10", 170. We talked about how hard he threw. Tim Lincecum, 5'11", 157. He's his pitching coach, Dave Righetti. Ball 1 to DeJesus. Mentioned the weight for Lincecum. He dropped about 30 pounds last offseason after basically eating whatever he wanted, and got up to 190 last year. But yeah, I think he thought he went the other way a little too quickly. So after dropping the 30 pounds, he put a little back on after a bad start this year.
We talk about it for all phenoms that come up quickly through the minor leagues and get to the major league level and continue to have the same kind of success that they had in little league or in high school or in college. And at some point, you bump up against the level where you're playing against players that are as good as you are.
That one crushed to deep right. Pence going back on it. It's gone. Back of the Budweiser patio. It bounds onto Sheffield. And a 2-run homer for DeJesus to get the Cubs on the board.
Oh, man. Middle of the plate, down fastball. David DeJesus rarely gets apart from his swing, and he doesn't here either. Very quick, very short to the ball. Caught it right on the sweet spot and drove it way out of here to right field.
Now that ball ultimately ended up on Sheffield. I'm not quite sure how Peter Chase and Jason Carr in the Cubs media relations department would categorize that. If it has to land on the street in the air without bouncing. But the Cubs, prior to today, had hit 1 home run onto Sheffield. That was Brian LaHare on April 9th off Sean Markham of the Brewers. So Sheffield here in Chicago, Bob, is kind of like McCovey Cove in San Francisco.
Except a lot drier.
Yeah, you don't need a kayak on Sheffield.
And no risk of getting eaten by a shark on Sheffield. Maybe real late at night.
Right. Two on Valbuena. Ground ball to second, gobbled up by Scudero. 2 outs. Here comes Rizzo.
Also, very quickly, Len, something else I missed yesterday. It was such an exciting ball game. I missed all the good stuff. Got a real nice letter from Mary Koch from Rock Falls, Illinois, that wanted to send birthday wishes out to her friend of over 40 years, big-time Cub fan, never misses a game. And unfortunately, Mary, I don't know if I can read the last name. Gladys, you know who you are. I believe the last name is Platter or Platten. Gladys, Cubs certainly do appreciate your support, and you've got a good friend in Mary Koch.
I guess it has started to lightly rain. Either that or they're a little embarrassed about their orange hair.
Maybe a combination of the two.
Well, we heard earlier, we've got all kinds of inside weather sources who said it's going to rain by about 1 o'clock. Well, it's just after 1. Well struck, and Rizzo's going to have an extra base hit. He's 2 for 2. Single and a double today for Anthony Rizzo.
What a nice controlled swing by a big man with a lot of power. Top hand actually came off the bat, just kind of guided it out there toward the gap in left center, but he's so big and so strong he ends up banging it off the wall out there in left center field for a double.
Had an excellent July, struggled at times in August, but hitting 1,000 here in September as he advances to third on a wild pitch.
Well, that'll time for the major league lead, depending what Ubaldo Jimenez has done recently, but Lincecum with that changeup, the curveball, both pitches that are designed to be down below the bottom of the strike zone, and when they hit in the dirt, it's going to be a wild pitch every time, even if it's a ball the catcher should block.
Soriano took a called third to end the first inning. One and two. Jesus with his 7th homer of the year, 2-run shot. 5 of his 7 home runs have now come over the last 16 games. Called foul.
It's a little too much hooking action. It was way fair initially off the bat, but really took a left as it got past third base and ended up well into foul territory.
We've been talking about Darwin Barney's National League single season errorless record at second base, 116 in a row and counting. Well, Alfonso Soriano is the only left fielder in the major leagues with at least 150 chances and no errors.
Yeah, really the only mistakes that Fonzie's made in left field this year is the occasional errant throw to second base, you know, trying to get the runner at third instead of throwing to second base and holding the batter at first. More mental mistakes than physical mistakes, certainly, but he's been up to the task. Every defensive play he's needed to make this year, to his right, to his left, coming in, and especially going back, something we didn't see him do very often in the past.
strike three. Fastball on the inside corner. Cubs get on the board on the DeJesus homer. 5-2 Giants.
Captain Morgan, raise your glass, always in moderation, to life, love, and loot. And today to John Lovitz.
Get to know me. He is like a bucking bronco in the booth. This is always interesting when John stops by. Never forget the last time we talked to him, he later ended up in the Mets TV booth right next door with Gary Cohen and Ron Darling, and in the middle of his interview he just pressed his face up against the glass and started making funny faces at us. Hi, John.
I'm not even sure he was invited into the Mets
no,
booth.
he just
walked in.
Just walked in. Why not? Curveball off the plate. 1-2 on Lincecum. Take two. Sinkers outside. We'll have tomorrow's homestand finale here on WGN. Leadoff man at 1. 13-game winner Matt Cain threw a perfect game earlier this year against left-hander Travis Wood. Wood trying to end an 8-game losing streak. Knocked down. I think that hit the inside thigh of Germano. And then he gets the out.
Unfortunately not hit real hard. Mark O'Neill at the ready just in case, but I think Germano's all right. Ball kind of rattled around, maybe hit him in a few different places. Yeah, inside of the left leg, maybe the back of the right leg, but drops right down in front of the mound. Yeah, you see Germano just stayed in front of the ball. He didn't try to get out of the way. And an easy out at first.
Pagan 1 for 2 with a triple and a run. Germano's 2-0. Missed again. 3-0. Scudero on deck. And he walked him. Let's take a look at our Ford upcoming Cubs schedule. We mentioned tomorrow on WGN. Labor Day as well from our nation's capital. Straight up noon. It's the first of a 4-game series and a 10-game trip. Ford manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Well, Andy Bellison does a great job, the Cubs public address announcer here at Wrigley. I did a little of it when I was in college and after that at Marquette. But I think of all the current active major leaguers, if you're a public address announcer or a wannabe, Marco Scudero, that's the best name of all. Marco Scudero. I mean, you got all the O's and the O's are the best syllables for a public address announcer. There's Andy. And I'm sure he'll wonder, did I pronounce something wrong? Why are they showing me? No, you got it right.
Andy always gets it right. Unfortunately, we've gone to some parks around the major leagues this year where the Cubs manager was identified as Dale Savium.
Savium, yeah.
That was a good one. This takes a little prep work. Talk to the visiting broadcasters. Check the pronunciation of any unusual looking names and make sure you get them right. It's easy for me to say I miss guys' names all the time.
Well, we do our best. When in doubt, you just go ask the player. How do you pronounce it? Well, when Marco came up, it was Scutaro. That's what it looks like, but no, it's Scudero. Justin Germano has long been called Justin Hermano with the soft G sound, but it is Germano, just like it's spelled.
Xavier Nady prefers that to just Xavier. Julian Taveras. Everybody assumed it was Julian Taveras, but he preferred to be called Julian.
2 strikes to Scudero. Bounce to third. They get 1, but not 2, as Barney didn't even make a throw. So Scudero takes over at first, and Sandoval will bat with 2 outs.
A bad combination to try to turn to a slowly hit ball that took a bad hop right at the very end. You've got an aggressive runner in Angel Pagan right on top of Darwin Barney as he tries to make that pivot at second base. And Scudero running hard out of the box. Darwin Barney does the right thing. Just hang on to it.
Well, later today, the Cardinals and Nationals. Kyle Loesch, Jordan Zimmerman scheduled matchup. And it has been a rough go for St. Louis here lately. They have been outscored 32-1 over their last 4 games, all losses. Valbuena throws out Sandoval. 5-2 Giants in the 4th.
Go to any Chicagoland Walgreens and look for the keyword at the Pepsi Max display. Then mail the keyword to WGN and you could be having dinner with Matt Garza from Pepsi Max, Walgreens, and WGN.
Bottom of the fourth. Matt done for the year with a stress reaction near his right elbow. Castro bounces foul. Curtis Granderson had to leave the Yankee game today after his first at bat. He will undergo an MRI on his right hamstring. Right now it's called tightness in his hamstring. Talked yesterday about injuries once you get into September. As Crawford throws out Castro. Season starting to dwindle. And you suffer an injury now. And of course now, Bob, we're in September. So if you lose a starting position player, let's say for the rest of the season, you can go out and make a trade for somebody else, but that guy won't be eligible for your playoff roster.
Which is all the more reason why the conditioning that starts in the offseason and runs through spring training, and guys try to maintain their best physical condition all season long, because you get down to this point of the season and a lot of guys running on fumes at this point, carrying around a lot of bumps and bruises and sprains and strains, and just trying to get to that finish line.
I got a couple more notes here to follow up on the Cardinals. So they have trailed in 36 consecutive innings. Michael Bowden over this 4-game losing streak, outscored 32-1. The one run they've scored was unearned. They haven't had a quality start in their last 9 games. They've been beaten 9-0, 5-0, 8-1, and 10-0. Castillo strikes out. And as we said, it won't get any easier for the Cardinals today. They're in Washington, D.C. against the Nationals.
Oh, and their shortstop Rafael Furcal done for the year.
Yeah.
Yadier Molina still day to day dealing with some neck sprain issues.
Let's see, Molina did play last night. Didn't help him though. Gio Gonzalez went the distance. Boy, look at it, Bob. He missed 1 game.
Yeah.
That's something else.
That was one of the more vicious hits I've seen at home plate in a long time. However, Josh Harrison from the Pittsburgh Pirates, in my estimation, nothing dirty, nothing cheap about it. Molina was blocking the plate well in front, right in the baseline. Harrison had nowhere else to go, just lowered his shoulder right into the face mask of Yadier Molina. Unbelievable collision.
2-2 on Jackson. Gotten a lot brighter here all of a sudden. The sun hasn't come out, but the clouds are white and not dark gray overhead. Called strike 3, got him on a slider. 5 strikeouts for Lincecum, who leads 5-2 after 4. bank, the Curious Bank. Member FDIC. Giants jumped on Justin Germano, 2 outs in the first inning, got 4 runs. They would add another in the second. Cubs got on the board on a David DeJesus 2-run blast. Cubs have played 13 games against the Western Division at Wrigley, 13 on the road. 11-2 here and 0-13 on the road. Bizarre.
It really is.
Still have 6 more games at the West. Final trip of the year at Colorado and Arizona. Posey pops this one down the right field line. DeJesus with a long run. He made the catch. What a play. David DeJesus with a sliding grab right at the foul line in right. That's a great play.
Boy, it really is, Len. Because of the rotation on that fly ball off the bat of Buster Posey, it was dying quickly. David DeJesus, right on the foul line, reaches across with the sliding backhanded catch just above the dirt down there. Can't do it any better than that.
Pretty obvious that would have been a fair ball. Hunter Pence, high foul pop that'll get back to the seats. Curveball strike. Boy, DeJesus covered a ton of ground to make that catch. That's it right there. That's how far he had to go.
I think the real key for a corner outfielder on a play like that, Len, when you're not only approaching foul territory but a sidewall, is to know when to go into your slide. As you said, DeJesus had a long way to run. You can see where he's starting from out there in straightaway right field. Off on a dead sprint. And just barely contacts that sidewall with his feet as he made that sliding catch. If you slide too early, you might not get to the spot, but if you slide too late, you may end up crashing into that sidewall anyway. He just did. The timing was absolutely perfect.
Comeback sinker caught the outside corner for strike 3.
Hey fans, tickets are available for the remainder of the 2012 Cubs season, including the next homestand against division rival Pirates, Reds, and Cardinals, beginning on Friday, September 14th, right here at Wrigley Field. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
Sanchez hit by a pitch to force in a run. The first run of the game, in fact. In the opening inning, and then he singled in the third. He signed when he was 16 years old back in '06 with the Giants. We got a good question on Twitter asking about the hardest collision you had to endure behind the plate in the majors.
I had a few of them. One of the worst was my very first day as a major league catcher. We'll get to that after the break here.
Germano with a 1-2-3-5.
Member FDIC.
Darwin Barney will lead off 5-2 Giants, so home plate collisions.
Yeah, my first start in the major leagues was at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Ken Griffey Sr. was the runner at first base. There was a base hit to right field. He tried to advance to third base. The throw from right field went into foul territory. He gets to his feet and comes roaring down the third base line. And I'm trying to block home plate and take a throw from foul territory down the left field line and hold my ground. And Ken Griffey Sr. hit me so hard, my mask went into the first base dugout. My shin guards got turned around backwards. He ended up on top of me at home plate. I never did touch or see the baseball on that play. And when I finally got all my equipment back together and went back behind the plate, was actually facing the third base dugout rather than the pitcher's mound. He rattled my cage pretty good. And Ken Griffey Sr. Could have been a running back for a lot of NFL teams. He plowed me, and I said, oh man, this is the big leagues.
Yeah, welcome to the show,
yeah,
kid. Brian LaHare was on deck if Barney had reached, but instead it'll be Tony Campana just back from AAA. Second stint with the Cubs. 70 games the first time around, April 21st through August 3rd. 26 steals. He leads the club. He's in the top 10 in the National League, even though he basically spent the last month and the first few weeks in the minors. Breaking ball strike. So Campana hitting for Germano. 5 innings, 5 runs.
Tell you one thing, Len, after a stint in the minor leagues, when you get recalled to the big league club, well, the first thing you do is replenish all your equipment. Looks like Tony's wearing brand new batting gloves, brand new wristbands. Well, the gravy's up here at the big league level. I would venture a guess that down there at the minor leagues, his gloves weren't quite that white. Yeah, another home plate collision that actually did more physical damage. Looked like brand new shoes too. Yeah. Did more physical damage both to me and the runner. Glenn Hubbard, coach for the Atlanta Braves, the second baseman for the Braves back throughout the 80s, ran into me at home plate one time and separated his shoulder and broke 2 of my ribs on the same play. Those little guys, they're sneaky, you know.
Low center of gravity.
Yep.
Outside, 2-2 on Campana, the pinch hitter. De Jesus on deck. Swing and a miss over top of curveball. Lincecum's 6th strikeout. As we check out our Nissan drive of the game, David DeJesus to the back of the Budweiser patio.
Only saving runs out there in right field defensively, but long home run to right field, bounced out onto Sheffield.
Get to your Nissan dealer for special offers. Nissan innovation that excites. Visit ChooseNissan.com.
People who were there, Len, say one of the worst collisions they ever saw at home plate was Bo Jackson running into Rick Dempsey of the Baltimore Orioles. They said that Dempsey left his feet at home plate and didn't touch ground again until he reached the on-deck circle on the first base side of the field.
Goodness.
He got hit on the front side of his left leg, and the bruise came out on the back side of his left leg. That's how hard Bo Jackson hit him. Bo knows collisions.
Two and one on DeJesus. 2 outs in the 5th. 5-2 Giants. Cubs won yesterday 6-4. Chris Volstad got his 2nd consecutive win after the long losing streak. He beat Madison Bumgarner. And he walked him. Second one given up by Lincecum. The DeWinter family is here from Altoona, Iowa. Maddox DeWinter here at Wrigley for the 2nd time. Bryson the first time at Wrigley. Maddox is 5, Bryson is 2. Great to have them here. Kylie McGuinn, happy birthday. I believe it's Guttenberg, Iowa. That's where Kylie's from. 40 years old. Happy 40.
Well, and earlier in the game I mentioned the 18 stolen bases in 18 attempts against Lincecum this year. He's just not real interested in pickoff throws to first base. He'll get the sign from his catcher through the bench occasionally, and it's just a very disinterested step off and throw a ball over there to Buster Posey and then get back on the mound.
And DeJesus runs right on cue. Sanchez from his knees gets him. A pinpoint toss to Crawford. Inning over. This year, Budweiser will donate $5,000 for every Cubs walk-off win to Folds of Honor. Find them at facebook.com/Budweiser to see how you can help support our nation's soldiers and veterans. Right-hander Michael Bowden is on in relief of Germano, making his 17th appearance. Came over from the Red Sox early in the year in the Marlon Byrd deal.
Pitched in the first and the last game of that Milwaukee series, a total of 3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs. Was working at a very deliberate pace against the Brewers, especially in that last game of the series. Just trying to slow them down a little bit.
Winfield, Illinois native, acquired on April 21st. And a strike on Xavier Nady, biggest hit of the game without a doubt. A bases clearing 2-out double in his first at bat as a Giant.
Well, that's the best way to make yourself at home with the new team. Drive in some big runs early in a ball game. He's going to take either the same swing or a very similar swing to that double on every pitch he swings at. He's looking to get that ball in the air somewhere toward left field or the left field foul pole.
R.A. Dickey with a 5-hit shutout last night as the Mets beat the Marlins 3-0. He has 5 complete games, 3 shutouts this year. Mentioned Gio Gonzalez got the win for the Nationals last night, his 17th win. Dickey, Gonzalez, and Johnny Cueto tied for the major league lead. Reds beat the Astros last night. Houston went 5-22 in August. Brewers kept on scoring, 9-3 over the Pirates. Corey Hart and Aramis Ramirez each went 3 for 4 with a home run. Bob Uecker were honored before the game in Milwaukee last night with a statue in his likeness. Bob Costas was the MC. I'm sure they didn't have any laughs.
No,
last night.
very somber occasion.
Yeah. 3-2 the count on Nady. A roller to Castro, a little stumble, but time to get Nady. Well, we showed it to you yesterday. It's worth a repeat viewing. Brandon Crawford on Tuesday night in Houston. Don't give up on it, even if your third baseman looks like he's going to catch it. Got it.
Well, you're there for a reason. I mean, obviously, when Brandon Crawford started after that pop-up, he was looking to make the catch. Pablo Sandoval got there a little bit ahead of time, but as you said, don't quit on the play. That's why you're there, to back it up just in case your teammate needs some kind of odd help, and that time he needed help.
Wow. Late swing. Fortunately, everybody all right. That's why bat boys and bat girls, security people down there, they all wear the helmet because they're so close to home plate. 1-2.
And it's always great to get those seats right down close to field level, but if you're sitting that close to the action, it's imperative, especially if you have children, that you pay attention. Watch the bats, watch the balls. I mean, it gets over there so quickly, you have absolutely zero time to react.
High fly to center. Brett Jackson drifting back. Once again, let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Well, we don't want to pile on the Astros. We should, in all fairness, mention the American League equivalent in August, the Cleveland Indians, who went 5-24, tying the franchise record for most losses in a calendar month, which was set in 1914. They were beaten by the Rangers last night. Ryan Dempster got the win. He improved to 4-1 with his new team.
And even though Minnesota is only 2-8 in their last 10 games, there's optimism that the Twins might be able to crawl out of last place in that American League Central Division race. Going into play today, they only trailed by a game and a half. Yeah.
Yep. Minnesota's in Kansas City for a doubleheader today. .30 pregame from Detroit tonight here on WGN. White Sox and Tigers, game 2. Detroit winning last night. They're within 2. Francisco Liriano against Max Scherzer here on WGN. Lincecum strikes out. Bowden goes 1-2-3 in the 6th. The Cubs still trail by 3.
Box score, David DeJesus with a big afternoon already. Out of the leadoff spot, Anthony Rizzo with 2 hits out of that 3-hole. Not much more happening for the Cubs offensively against Tim Lincecum. The 2013 3 Series with X Drive is here. Visit your local Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana BMW Center to test drive one today.
Valbuena, Rizzo, and Soriano. Gregor Blanco's taken over for Nady and left. Unless we hear differently, we would assume that's just a defensive upgrade. Nady in his Giant debut 1 for 3 with a 3-run double in the first inning. Called strike on Valbuena with Sandoval and Posey both in. Posey's going to back up a little bit at first with an 0-1 count. How about the attendance, partner? Paid crowd today, 32,477. Yesterday, 32,476.
You want to guess tomorrow's?
I was going to say it looks about the same with maybe one more person.
One more person, yeah.
That's what I was going to guess. Valbuena, left center, Pagan. The sliding grab for the out. Just held up there too long. Want to see a Cub game from the front row at Wrigley Field? Now you can. Visit Cubs.com. Click on the CBOE front row seats auction to bid on tickets in the front row behind home plate and along the first base line. Front row seats will be auctioned off to every game all season long. Don't miss your chance. Go to Cubs.com. Check out the CBOE front row seats auction today. Outside to Rizzo, who has singled and doubled. Curveball strike. Lincecum's been pretty good. One mistake today, and David DeJesus made him pay for it. 2-run homer to right. By the way, I have the answer to the question. In the game notes, you have Waveland and Sheffield home runs. They have to get to the street in the air.
Okay.
So if they bounce out of the ballpark, that doesn't technically count. And I'm in agreement on that. Swing and a miss. He got him. Great look here at Wrigley Field. Fans are checking out the city around them. And time for a little peck on the cheek, too.
I didn't know there were mountains in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know, huh? Soriano's been caught looking twice. Doesn't happen very often.
And I think both times on fastballs on the inside corner.
And usually the MO when he has 2 strikes is to throw him a breaking ball and maybe outthinking himself a little bit.
Or an elevated fastball up above the top of the strike zone. He'll chase that one occasionally too, but Tim Lincecum's just pounded that fastball down there at the knees on the inside corner. Of course, with Lincecum's command as it is, we're not so sure that's exactly where he was trying to throw the fastball, but effective nonetheless.
On on one hop. This will be a 1-2-3 for Lincecum as Crawford throws out Soriano. We go off to the 7th. Giants 5, Cubs 2. Saturday in the Park by Chicago. That's a Bud Fan Camp brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Foul strike on former Cub Angel Pagan. He's reached twice on a triple and a walk. Somebody got conked on the head, but I think she's all right. It's like the latest on Rafael Furcal is he will not have surgery on his bad elbow as that one's deep to left. Soriano on the warning track with the catch. So the Cardinals have not yet given up on Furcal being available possibly in the postseason. One down, here's Scudero. Lance Berkman activated from the DL. Coming back from knee surgery, Alan Craig will still get a lot of the playing time at first. Bowden with the 1-1 to Scudero, fouled back. Lifted in the air out into right. David DeJesus for the second out.
Follow the Cubs with the MLB.com at Bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at BAT to 31826 or visit Cubs.com for details.
John Lovitz has barreled his way into the booth. Here's Pablo Sandoval.
Life as we know it will never be the same.
That's right. Looking good. Fouled off third base side, out of play. That's a strike, 0-2. Bounced out in front of home plate. 1-2. Barney backing up. He got him. Nice job by Bowden. Getting some help from his second baseman. Stretch time.
Comedian John Lovitz.
All right, Cub fans, let me hear you. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jam. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at that old ball game. Play ball. I'm kidding.
No, that's true. That is really true.
I'm kidding. Did you ever play baseball yourself, by the way?
As a kid, I did, yes.
As a kid?
But that's it.
Well, me too. But are you thrilled to be here? And it's like
I am absolutely thrilled.
Get to be part of big league baseball.
Yeah.
I am. I get to throw out the first pitch and sing. It's a real thrill. And we shot a league of their own here, so I always love coming back.
Look very similar.
Bob tried to get me in that scoreboard. I wouldn't go with him. I don't know what was up with that. But here we are now. Safe and sound.
That's where a lot of the stars go, John, that are never heard from again. You know?
Yes,
Whatever
sir.
happened to, what's his name? He went to the scoreboard at Wrigley.
Yeah.
Bob wants to show you the view. And he's out at first. What do you think of Tim? Was it Lincecum? How do you say his name?
Lincecum.
Lincecum.
Yes. He's been good today. He's had a rough year, but really good today.
Isn't he known for that big step in the beginning and he just whips it through?
Yeah, he by the time he lets go of the ball, that back foot is several feet in front of the pitching rubber. Good extension. He's under 6 feet tall.
And he's thin, right? Most pitchers are like huge, but this guy just whips it.
So what's new with you? What's going on?
Well, I'm here in town doing stand-up at the Improv in Schaumburg. I have 2 shows tonight at 7 and 9:15 and one tomorrow at 7. And just been traveling the country and did a couple of movies with Adam Sandler and going to start a new TV show called Mr. Box Office. So the career's going great, and the women are like flies on a mud pie. Can't keep them off. So that's always fun to
Some
be able
things
to
never change.
pick and choose.
Yeah.
You 3 go home. You 3 come on. Of course I am lying. It's completely dead. You can laugh.
We are, yes, of course.
The truth is funny. Here's another truth. Bob, what's happening? I'm lost. Help me. I'm blind. Help me. Bob, I don't understand. I'm kidding. How long have you been doing this, Len?
This would be my 11th year, 8th year in Chicago.
And how long have you and Bob been a team?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
So you started together?
No.
Oh, no, you were 11 years, you said. That's right. And Bob, are you enjoying this? It's 8 years already.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, you're like an expert at this now.
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, you could manage a team and announce the game at the same time.
You might be onto something now.
That would be something. You're down there going, I said bunt, and here's the pitch. He's out. You idiot. I told you to bunt.
It'd be like a golf telecast.
Here comes a hit and run. Right. Yeah, it'd be funny. You go, I hope he does what I told him. This guy never listens to me. Don't be surprised if he's traded at the end of the game. Oh, here he comes. I got to change the subject. Good try, buddy. Good try. We'll see you in San Francisco next weekend. Not really. I don't have the right to tell him. He's gone. I think you should do it. If you and Bob Uecker had a boxing match, who would win, Bob?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Are you friends with Bob
Uecker?
Yeah, we know
2
Bob.
former catchers. What would happen is we'd shake hands before the bout, and we wouldn't be able to get our hands apart because of all the broken knuckles and the fingers, and then we wouldn't fight.
Well, I didn't know you were a catcher. I didn't. What team were you on?
Well,
a lot of teams.
That team over there.
He was a Giant.
Oh. When? No, when did?
81 to 89.
Oh, see, I grew up in Los Angeles. The Giants were my. I hate to say it, that I lived in L.A., but the Giants were my favorite team, and Willie Mays was my idol. So I knew all the players.
Bob came a little after Willie Mays.
Yes,
Tim Lincecum is out. We'll be back.
I'm still talking.
I'm John Lovitz. We're back with Len and Bob. Good thing I'm here to call the game. There's a new pitcher for the Giants, and his name, Bob, is?
Jose Mijares. Something like that.
Correct. Batting is number 7, Jackson. I don't know his first name. Do you?
I know it's not Reggie.
Right. Well, he's a left-hander against a left-handed pitcher.
Well, I tell you, if you
0-2 the count.
If you had to listen to a broadcast in which the announcer had no information whatsoever, John, you would be the best who ever lived.
Well, I take that as a compliment.
I'm serious.
There's the pitcher, his left arm dangling and relaxing. And here's the pitch outside. 1-2. Bob, are you going to say anything, or do I have to call the whole game?
I just love the sound of your voice, John. Much like in that 1987 blockbuster, The Brave Little Toaster, when you played the voice of the radio.
Yeah, I talk like this. It was like this. On the count is 1-2. And they'll wind up, and here's the pitch. Oh, it's gone by, and 53's going over to second. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a name. Well, he has a name, but he's so far away I can't read it.
That would be Wellington Castillo advancing on to second base on the wild pitch.
Correctamundo. You're 2 for 2. So far, Bob is going to keep his job. Len, we don't know. 2-2 to count. Man on second. He looks towards second. Wind up, and here's the pitch to Jackson. Half swing. Jackson. No, he didn't go all the way. And it's a full count. Now, Bob, you used to be a catcher. What pitch would you call for right now?
You bring a left-handed pitcher in the game to face a left-handed hitter, he's going to throw him some kind of a breaking ball. Hard slider. That would be my guess, Mr. Play-by-Play guy.
All right, let's see if it happens. The wind-up, and here's the pitch.
Ooh, over the fastball.
Fastball.
All right, John, may I interject?
Please.
Go back to 1986. My partner, playing third base for the San Francisco Giants, committed 4 errors in 1 inning. There's 1. 2. There's 2.
Jesus.
There's 3. Here's number 4. But he would redeem himself by ending the game with a home run.
Wow.
How about that?
Do you remember that game? Or do you try to forget it?
Oh, I remember it. Most of it.
It didn't seem like you were very good at getting grounders.
I wasn't. I was good at getting in the way of grounders.
Well, you were a catcher. Why were they having you play third that day?
It's a long story,
question.
John. Long story.
It's a long story, and we got a lot of time.
The Giants have made a pitching change. Guillermo Mota is on, but we will keep it right here.
With that pitching change, let's hear that story. We've got plenty of time to hear the most embarrassing moment of your life, Bob.
I was actually sitting on the bench, John, with my catcher's gear on 10 minutes before the game was about to start. My manager came and said, hey, third baseman's hurt. He's not going to be able to play today. Take off the gear. You're going to play third base.
And what did you say?
I'm a good team guy. Yes, sir. I'll play third base. That's bad managing.
Oh, no wonder you made the error. Yeah,
it shouldn't have been down there in the first place.
But now you're used to catching balls over 90 to 100 miles an hour. So why would the grounder, was that faster or slower? Or you're used to catching a pitcher throws it in the dirt, you stop it. You're expert at that. So why did the grounders give you trouble?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, but why? Avoiding the question is Bob.
But how about the home run to end it? Now that's the way to end it there.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
See, the thing is, John, I knew I was going to hit a homer in my last at bat of the game, and I wanted to really make it dramatic. So I, kicked a few balls around down there to make it a close game, and then won the game in the ninth. That's the ticket.
Yes, you were acting. Well, that makes sense to me. I did that when I threw out the first pitch. From up here, it looked like it was maybe 20 miles an hour, but from down below, it sped up. At the last few seconds, it was over 100. And the guy who caught it is still icing his hand.
Now, John, when we're done in the 7th, are you going to run over to the Giants booth like you did when the Mets guys were here? We think you should.
Well, I don't know.
Dwayne Kuiper, Mike Krukow, good guys over there.
Guys.
Maybe. I don't know.
They both played with Bob.
On the Giants?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you should
So
go
they're
over there
traveling.
and ask them about Bob. I think that would be a good
You know,
idea.
the reason I went over to the Mets booth last time was because Keith Hernandez was there. It was on the Mets, and I knew him when I was on Saturday Night Live. And actually, the night that the Mets won the World Series in 1986, I ended up hanging out with the Mets, and I ended up in Keith Hernandez's apartment with all the ball players, just hanging out. Take it easy.
Didn't say a word.
And Keith Hernandez, he's like a one-bedroom apartment, and in his closet there was like 6 Gold Glove awards.
Oh yeah,
great guy. That was a lot of fun. I met him and Ron Darling, and Ron Darling would say, "Look, he's was a great pitcher," and he'd say, "If you look at the pitchers, they've all got big butts." I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because you use those muscles in your legs to throw the ball. So when a pitcher gets tired, it's not his arm that's tired; it's his legs." And yet you've got Tim. Well, that's a nice shot. You've got Tim Lincecum, who is very slender and yet whips the ball around. He's built like a tennis player.
That's a good call.
By the way, the other guy you were forgetting, Gary Cohen, the play-by-play guy. You seem to have I think you really do want to be a play-by-play guy.
Oh, sure.
You're talking about all the analysts like you want to be a part of their team.
I would love to do it. I did a character that I called him Vinnie Barber, which was like Red Barber and Vin Scully, and the announcers from the 40s. You see, I would make the game exciting. You see, I wouldn't be going, and there's the pitch, and oh, we missed it, and we're going to have a coffee break. I'd be like, on the count, it's a full count, 2 out. Man on second, the windup, and here's the pitch. Outside. No, it caught the corner. He's out. Bob was wrong again.
John, you're one of our all-time favorites. Great to have you with us, and please go bother the Giants guys, will you?
I will.
On our behalf. Thanks, John.
Thank you. By the way, it was
Michael Bowden still in there. He's done a really nice job in relief.
You mentioned it earlier, Len, that Justin Germano may have to get deep into this ball game today because of a somewhat tattered bullpen, but the combination of Germano and Bowden have put the Cubs here into the top half of the 8th inning. So a nice combined job by those two guys to eat up the innings necessary today.
Big series for Buster Posey. He's 5 for 6. And looks at a strike. Rookie left-hander Jeff Beliveau's up. The line on Lincecum, 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Gave up a home run. John Lovitz. You think he wants to do play-by-play?
I do, partner. I really do. Yeah,
I do too. I think he'd do a pretty good job.
You got the voice for it and the cadence. You know, it's obvious he's listened to a lot of baseball.
Swing and a miss. It's funny when called strike 3. Casual baseball fans who maybe don't know the inner workings, they'll ask a question, you'll answer it, and then the answer is, but why? Well, you know, but why? He asked you the same question about 8 different times.
It's when you invoke the parental privilege and say, because I said so.
Because.
That's right, because.
That's why. That ball's going to roll to the wall. A rocket off the bat of Pence. And he's got a double.
He really attacks the baseball, especially fastballs up and in. He chokes up on that bat, has a wide open stance, really looking to pull something hard to left field, and that time he got a pitch he could do it with.
Tap foul by Sanchez. They're now tied in New York. I think he's just tied the Orioles 3-3 in the 7th. Fouled back.
"39 strikeouts on the season for Sanchez against only 3 base on balls. Once you're ahead in the count to this guy, not only do you not have to throw him a strike, you don't have to throw him a hittable pitch. You can go way up above the top of the zone, bounce an off-speed pitch. Try that back foot slider. Looks like they're going to go up with a fastball.
Castillo just couldn't hang on to it.
An interesting little interplay there at second base. Starlin Castro, as Michael Bowden was looking in for his sign, started to sneak in behind Hunter Pence. And without ever turning his head, Pence immediately shortened up his lead by a step or two because third base coach Tim Flannery was all over it. Saw Starlin Castro trying to sneak in behind. He alerted Pence, and Pence, without looking over his shoulder, just backed up a step or two toward the base at second. Tim Flannery, one of the best in the game.
Yep.
Third base coaches are probably the worst guys on the field to ask what happened at the plate with a runner at second base, because their focus is all on that defender behind the runner at second base. At the last instant, they turn their head to see what's happening at home plate, but then they quickly pick up that runner at second base again. And you see Castro just starts to sneak in a few steps, and without even turning around, Pence knows that he's there because his third base coach alerted him to it.
Sanchez fouled one off his foot, and again, we mentioned yesterday back in San Francisco, and not funny, it hurts, but he did it in back-to-back pitches.
Off the front leg, the one he's wearing the guard on right now. It looked like this one hit him in the back leg. Oh. Right down that left ankle, off the top of the left foot. I know most baseball fans don't go to the ballpark to watch the base coaches, but it might be worth watching a good third base coach like Tim Frannon, like Pat Listash, and how they work in that third base coach's box depending on the situation and where the runners are on base. You'd be surprised how many miles those guys put in running up and down that third base line over the course of a game. If you've got a runner coming from first base around second to third, the third base coach will get out past the coach's box, out past the base to pick up that runner at second, and then they'll run down the line to get in front of him and let him know what to do. Almost has his back completely turned to home plate, keeping an eye on Starlin Castro.
Swing and a miss, strike three. 2 down. That'll be it for Bowden. He certainly did his job. 2 2/3 innings. He'll give way as Jeff Beliveau will come on to face Gregor Blanco when we come back. Replaced Brooks Raley on the roster yesterday. And he got into the game, got the final out of the 6th inning. That's Probably the best outing Michael Bowden's had as a Cub. 2 2/3, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. And Belleville will face Gregor Blanco. Gets his first at bat. He came into play left for Nady in the 6th. Pence at second, 2 outs.
I was going to say pretty easy pitching change to bring in the lefty to face Blanco. He just came into the game as a defensive replacement for Nady, so very slim chance that Bruce Bochy is going to immediately take him down for a pinch hitter against a left-handed arm. But you don't always know with the expanded rosters in September and a lot of bodies available off the bench. Sometimes a manager will do something like that, but Blanco going to take the at bat here against the lefty.
It's Javier Lopez up in the giant pen. Two balls, no strikes. Blanco is getting a lot of the playing time in left after the Melky Cabrera suspension. And Xavier Nady brought up today and jumped right into the lineup against a right-hander. Rough day yesterday for Blanco, 0 for 4, including 3 strikeouts. Two and two.
You mentioned Nady in the lineup against a right-hander today, Len. Sometimes I think it's more the style of pitcher rather than the arm with which they throw. Justin Germano not overpowering. We talked about Xavier Nady and how his swing at this stage of his career is a little bit longer and a little bit loopier. So you like to match him up against guys that don't throw particularly hard and rely a lot on breaking balls, because Nady is a real good breaking ball strike hitter.
On the ground to Barney. 2 end the inning. Getting late. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cubs trail 5-2. In his Giants debut with a big 3-run double in the first. And Tim Lincecum, rough year, has been a lot better in the second half, trying to get his 8th win. Anthony Rizzo has 2 hits for the Cubs. Visit your local Chicagoland Honda dealer today and test drive a 2012 Honda Accord. David DeJesus also with a 2-run homer in this one, and Bruce Bochy with veteran righty Guillermo Mota loosening. Adrian Cardenas was announced, and Bochy will make the move. Javier Lopez coming on when we come back in the 8th. Lopez, he'll play first for Buster Posey, and here is the veteran lefty.
Lopez basically a sinker, cutter, changeup pitcher. He will throw an occasional loopy slider, but relies mostly on a 2-seam sinking fastball, a cutter, and you see the changeup grip right there as he gets ready to get his sign.
It will not be Adrian Cardenas, instead Joe Mather. And he lines it in the left. You get a lot more situations like this in September. You have extra relievers and extra guys on your bench. Announce a pinch hitter, don't use them. I've long thought it odd that in the most important month of the season you have different roster rules, and I think, Bob, it actually takes a little of the strategy away. You know, we talk about what sort of impact a manager has on a game with the strategy he can use. Well, I think it's easier for all managers, and if you're a real good in-game manager, I think you lose a little bit of that advantage.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%, and we've talked about it in the past, the idea of expand your roster to 40 if you would like in the month of September, but you have to pick 25 guys that are active for today's game. And it could be a different 25 guys. You know, every day you can add and subtract guys, but you only have 25 players at your disposal.
Yeah, that idea has been out there for quite some time. As DeJesus lifts it in the air, but Pagan in the area. One away. I think everybody is for expanded rosters to help out fatigued pitching staffs, to see young players. But when it comes to the actual game day roster, you'd like to have them be even on both sides. Josh Vitters is going to hit for Valbuena. And then you get into the postseason, it goes right back to 25. On the ground at third, Sandoval, Scudero, Belt. That's it. An around the horn double play will take us to the ninth. 5-2 Giants. Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Pepsi Max, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. The Illinois Lottery. Do you believe in the power of possibility? The Illinois Lottery. Anything's possible. And by Ford, manufacturers of more fuel-efficient vehicles than any other brand. Check them out at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. Vitters, after coming off the bench, batting for Valbuena, unfortunately hit into a double play. He'll stay in and play third as Manny Corpus will work to Brandon Crawford. Crawford, Belt, and Pagan here in the ninth for San Francisco. After Brian Wilson had Tommy John surgery in April, left a void in the ninth inning. Santiago Casilla has closed as this ball is going to slice away from Soriano, and it's going to land fair and then bounce out of play for an automatic double. But, Bruce Bochy is mixing and matching with his bullpen, so we're not quite sure who will be asked to get the final 3 outs. Javier Lopez may come right back out on the top of the ninth, or bottom of the ninth, rather.
Yeah, you would think perhaps at least to start the inning against Anthony Rizzo, and depending on what happens with the leadoff hitter, you may leave him in to face Soriano and Castro, or Rizzo happens to reach, maybe he goes to his right-hander, Santiago Casilla.
Casilla with 30 save chances, 24 out of 30. Sergio Romo has 8. Lopez has 5. Jeremy Affeldt has 3. Clay Hensley with 3. Hensley's on the DL. 2-0 on Belt. Fouled right at the plate. 2-1. If it is Casilla, his first save chance since July 21st.
We'll know a little better after the first out of the inning. That's usually when a relief pitcher will start throwing, if he's going to at least be considered in that next half inning.
Ball 4. Giants offense trying to make it possibly a non-save situation. They can add on here in the ninth unless Lopez finishes the game. Crawford at second after the leadoff double. Belt just walked.
Two sack bunts this season for Angel Pagan. But with a lead, no sign of a bunt there. He took a long look down to Tim Flannery, first at the third base coach's box, and then took a glance at Josh Vitters to see where he was positioned defensively. I thought perhaps Pagan would try to bunt for a base hit.
And he bunts it foul. The Cubs will have Rizzo, Soriano, and Castro due up in the bottom of the ninth, trailing by at least 3. Called strike 3 for out number 1.
A big out right there. Keeps the runners at their respective bases. Gives you the opportunity for a ground ball double play to conceivably get out of this inning unscathed. Angel Pagan saw that late movement, knew it was going to be close to the strike zone, but just couldn't pull the trigger.
We have the answer to our question. Right-hander Sergio Romo is up. Doesn't mean he's going to start the bottom of the ninth, but he's the only guy getting loose in the bullpen. Two and 1. Wind really died down in the middle innings, but it's blowing again straight in from center field.
And it's a different feel to the wind now than we had earlier this afternoon.
In the air to center, and Brett Jackson has it. Crawford back to tag, but he's going to hold it second. 2 outs.
You've heard me refer to a thin wind. That's what it appeared we had earlier in the ball game and during batting practice today. Hunter Pence was having no problems reaching Waveland Avenue, even though the wind was blowing in from center. But a little bit firmer wind right now, a little different feel to it.
We want to send out happy birthday wishes to Sue Newton, big Cub fan. Somehow a ball got onto a sign out in deep left center.
I think John Lovitz was taking batting practice earlier today.
Yeah.
Might have hit one out there. Maybe that's where his first pitch ended up. Just a bit outside. Also, congratulations to Ohio University Bobcat fans everywhere as the Bobcats upset the Penn State Nittany Lions today to kick off the 2012 season.
Yeah.
Way to go, Bobcats.
Congrats. Sandoval walks to load the bases. Joaquin Arias will pinch hit for Lopez, so it will be Sergio Romo in the bottom of the ninth. Arias with a career best 9-game hitting streak, hitting .467 during the streak. He led all major leaguers with a .417 August batting average. Bounce to Vitters. Toss to Barney covering second, and that'll end the inning. The Giants leave the bases loaded. Last chance now for the Cubs in the bottom of the ninth, down 3. So Sandoval out. The pitcher's spot will be the 3-hole in the Giants lineup. That's Sergio Romo.
See a lot of sliders from Sergio Romo. He throws that pitch about 65% of the time. Also has a fastball and a changeup. Picked up his 8th save of the season on Thursday night in Houston. One of the better relief pitchers in the National League that nobody knows about.
Yep. Well, overshadowed by Brian Wilson, the closer. Hear all this talk about the beard, but Sergio Romo's kind of kept that alive here with Wilson on the DL. He's got a pretty good beard working. A lot of flair with the pant bottoms hiked up to show those orange stripes on the socks. 1-1.
5th lowest ERA among National League relief pitchers at 1.99. He's given up only 5 hits in 40 at bats this season with runners in scoring position.
Scudero will feel a little slip, but he stays on his feet and he gets Rizzo. Oh, look out. Don't drop the ball. She was so happy to get the ball.
Yeah, see, that's how errors are made. Just lack of focus, a lack of concentration, maybe hot dogging it a little bit too much. 2 hands. Good recovery, though.
One strike on Soriano. The kick, the pitch. Ground ball foul.
Took the short route back to her seat.
She's not going to let go of it.
Whoa.
Trying to prove to everybody and I think to herself that she could hang on to it that time. Oh, 2 fastball outside. It's about as fast as you'll see that pitch. He's never averaged even 90 miles an hour on his heater in his career.
He does a real nice job of using that fastball to set up this pitch. The slider. You notice that was nearly the same location as the fastball on the pitch before. He'll show it to a hitter. There's a fastball just off the outside corner and then come right back with a slider in the same spot with more movement away from the hitter, trying to get that swing and a miss. Leading him out of the strike zone.
Off the end of the bat, popped into shallow right field. Pence running hard. And he's got to leave his feet to make the catch. Looked like Scudero had a much easier play, but Pence called him off.
Yeah, it did appear to be an easier play for Scudero, but Pence never took his eye off the ball, calling for it the whole way. If you're going to do that, make sure you catch it. You can see he used 2 hands right in the heel of his glove. Had to get his bare hand involved to hold that ball. I mentioned it last night. He's not always the smoothest defender in the outfield, but more often than not, he'll get it done. It may not be pretty, but it's effective.
2 outs, and Castro takes a strike. Just to tell you how good Sergio Romo was last year, he had a stretch during which he retired 31 consecutive batters over 15 games. That's essentially a perfect month. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Fan keeping score here at Wrigley Field. All 5 of the Giants' runs came in the first 2 innings. The Cubs would get 2 on the homer by DeJesus in the 3rd. That's been it. Same pattern here.
Let's see if he goes with a slider here on the 1-2 delivery. Although the last thing you want to have happen is to get predictable. Every time you throw a fastball on the outside corner, you come right back with a slider in the same spot. Big league hitters will make adjustments to that.
That was a slider. Castro somehow got a bat on it.
Look how far this pitch is off the plate when Castro makes contact. It's over in the middle of the left-handed batter's box. Somehow manages to get that bat out there, foul it off, and stay alive.
Another one. Fouled back. Popped into left. This will do it. Blanco makes a catch. The Cubs go 1-2-3 in the ninth, and the Giants have set up a rubber game tomorrow with a 5-2 win. Tim Lincecum over Justin Germano. Lincecum now 8-14. Germano drops to 2-5. We'll have more from Wrigley Field in a moment.